Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining the webinar today. Today, we're going to talk about solutions Optoma provides for the house of worship market. Joining me today on the webinar is Roland Hamilton. Hey, Roland, how you doing today?
Hey, afternoon, Bob. Doing great. Hope you are
Great.
too.
All right. Roland and I are part of the Optoma technical sales team, so we're here to answer any questions you have about products. Also, feel free to reach out to your region manager for Optoma Technologies as well. Today, we're going to talk about house of worship solutions for the market. We're going to talk about some of the pricing and promotions that are active today. We're going to talk about the house of worship landscape. We're going to look at the spaces that are used for sanctuaries, but also for education, classrooms, meeting rooms as well. We're also going to talk about the challenges that customers face. So there's a lot of challenges in the buildings, the sanctuaries themselves that have to be overcome. Also, Optoma solutions for those challenges, and then we're going to take your questions. Also, keep in mind at the bottom of the screen there, you can click down there and see a Q&A box. Feel free to type in any questions that you have as we move along here. Want to talk about some of the marketing programs in place today. First of all, we do have a great price for your house of worship market. We basically base that off of our government and educational discounts that are out there, but also keep in mind that if there's any opportunities out there, we're always willing to work with you on special pricing that's needed to meet competition. We also have a House of Worships program that's coming out starting in October. It also covers our other markets as well, but it's a 50% discount on optional lenses for our large venue projectors. We also have a spiff flyer that's sent out every month, and we're going to send out additional materials after the webinar, but we have a number of spiffs out there. Just a couple of examples of the great spiffs we have out there. Brand new products coming out, the ZK810 and 810 TST. These are two 4K projectors. They have powered lenses, and they're built for bright spaces. So they're coming in at 8,600 lumens. Also, we have a great spiff on our 86-inch interactive display, and that's $200. And then that's for both US and Canada. And then instant rebates, we have a great instant rebate on our ultra short throw projector, the ZU 500 USTE, a $600 rebate that's in effect right now. And then again, afterwards, we're trying not to get too much into specific model numbers today. We just want to talk about what the challenges are and some of the categories of products that we offer that meet those challenges that are out there. So afterwards, we're going to send out an updated product reference guide.
Yeah, and just to clarify, Bob, I don't know if I misheard you, but just want to be clear that the 50% off lens promotion applies with the purchase of an interchangeable lens projector.
That is correct, yes. All right, so again, looking at Optoma, we are a full solution provider. Just to give a little history here, we've been manufacturing displays for over 25 years now. We started as a home theater and a mainstream projector manufacturer. A couple years later, we added large venue projectors. And then as we progressed, we added more recently in the last 7-8 years, interactive panels, non-interactive pro displays, and also all-in-one direct view LEDs. Want to talk a little bit about some of the high ratings we have in the market as far as the sales that we achieve throughout the world. Number one is that we're the number one DLP laser projector brand in the Americas and the number one 4K UHD projector brand in the Americas. Also worldwide, we're the number one DLP projector brand and the number one 4K UHD projector brand worldwide as well. So again, we do offer a lot of solutions out there, so we are going to send out that product reference guide, but want to talk a little bit more about the house of worship experience that's out there today. So congregation members, they come into the house of worship, the sanctuary now, and they're expecting to have the same technology that they use on an everyday basis. So the house of worships really have to step up their game a little bit with the technology. Some of the research that we've seen out there, there's over 300,000 churches in the United States. And with these churches, there's over $1 billion every year spent on AV technology. On the video side of the AV experience, congregations expect colorful, easy to view images that are easy to read. And in some cases, they expect a true multimedia experience, as you can see in the image there. There's an estimated 5 million people that attend one or more of the 8,000 multi-site churches in North America. In these larger churches, there's a push toward higher resolution displays to match the broadcast equipment that they use. So they have to have at least high definition, and in many cases, they're moving up to 4K UHD resolution. Basically, they want the high definition now, but they buy 4K, and then that way they can also avoid some obsolescence, 3, 4 years down the road if they purchase 4K UHD now.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Again, I'm Roland Hamilton. So we're familiar with houses of worship needing display solutions for the main sanctuary, right? That's where we see most of the opportunities, I think. But we thought it would also be worthwhile just mentioning that many of the same customers also have needs for engaging displays in other spaces as well. So beyond just the sanctuaries, they're multi-purpose halls. I know the church I grew up in as a kid, they were always using that space under the main sanctuary for different events. And in addition to that, those big meeting hall spaces, classrooms and meeting rooms, right? A lot of times, many churches have either several Sunday school classrooms, or they might have an attached K-12 school or preschool, as well as administrative offices. And churches, they want these solutions, and they can really benefit from kind of your typical digital signage in the entryways and gathering places. So many, if not most of the challenges we face when it comes to integrating displays in houses of worship are in regard to the main sanctuary, right? Many of those other spaces, the church hall, the classrooms, the meeting spaces, those are so much like your typical classroom that you outfit elsewhere. They're not so challenging. Those spaces are easy, but it's really the main sanctuary that poses the most problems. And here we see a good example of a problematic main sanctuary, right? The congregation or the viewers, they're seated quite far back. That last pew might be 75 or even 80 feet back, maybe even further. There's limited places to install displays. There's really no space available to put a single display that would cover, be viewable from the entire space. And there's also a ton of ambient light. So this is a kind of good example of a main sanctuary space that's very difficult to outfit with display technology. And we're going to return to this example in just a little bit. But while we can't promise that we're going to be able to solve all the challenges that we face when it comes to outfitting house of worship with display technology, Optoma is certainly working very hard to bring you and your customers fantastic options, including the latest technologies to help you meet those challenges and really offer the best solutions available and ultimately the best experience available to your customers. So we offer all these different display technologies, projectors, direct view LED. We're going to talk about it. We sell an all-in-one quad LED display. Creative Touch interactive displays. I'm presenting today from my home office. I have a 65-inch Creative Touch interactive display. We're going to touch on those. And we launched earlier this year our N Series Pro displays. These are non-touch LCD displays. And we sell a whole host of accessories for these different categories of solution. So with the interactives, we sell cameras, remote or wireless speaker phones, rather, stands that are motorized, stands that are passive and just roll around, mounts, flying frames. We have all the accessories you need to pair with these solutions, but we also we definitely want to touch on what Optoma has to offer beyond the gear, right? Beyond just the hardware and the display solutions themselves. And two areas in particular: the software that we add, the software that we offer, and the value add. So we're going to talk about it in a little more detail, but we offer OMS, Optoma Management Suite, and OSS, Optoma Solution Suite. And these perform different functions. We're going to touch on them a little bit. But Optoma is really delivering more than just a projector. We have back-end software that solves problems and really addresses customer needs and is truly cutting edge. And also the Optoma value add. We know that our dealers and our customers have a lot of choices, right? But beyond just what we're providing in terms of the solution, we have a field team that's out there to help you, whether it's from a technical nature, you need help designing a system, verifying that it's going to work with all the different pieces, the audio system, make sure it's going to deliver the experience that the customer's looking for. So from a technical aspect or from a technical point of view, we're here to help you. The sales team is here to help you, certainly from a business aspect. If you need more competitive pricing because one of your competitors, is coming in low, or the customer just has a certain budget that we're trying to meet, the sales team is here to work with you and get you those competitive advantages. And even just from a logistics standpoint, getting the equipment when you need it. There are a lot of people at Optoma working really hard and ready to work really hard to help you put the best foot forward with your customers and be successful together. We're really looking to partner with our dealers and our industry partners. And what it all adds up to is we're working really hard to deliver more than just the gear, just the hardware, basically. And Bob is going to tell us a little bit about our projector offerings.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Roland. Yeah, there's several reasons to go with projectors for displays within the house of worship or the sanctuary. One is that the flexibility that projectors provide. One device can display an image that, say it's a mainstream projector. You can have the 60-inch diagonal, 120-inch diagonal, or bigger. When you get to the large venues, you're looking at an image size 160 inches up to 300 inches from one projector. So you have that flexibility of the image size. Also, the value of the projector, like the price you pay per inch of screen diagonal for a projector, is probably the most affordable within the category. So if you look at some of the other categories, if you have a 75-inch display, that could be $1,500. A projector can run you less than $1,000. Or if you move into a very bright projector, that could be $4,000. But if you're looking at direct view LED, that could be tens of thousands of dollars. So, based on the brightness that you need or the flexibility, a projector is really, it's kind of a catch-all solutions, especially for the price per screen size allowed with the projectors. Looking at some of the other benefits just from Optoma, we have the dual-core laser technology in our projector. So that, based with the laser technology and the DMD or the DLP chip within the projector, there's very little maintenance that you have to do with these projectors. There's no lamps to change out. There's no filters. Some other technologies require a filter still. And you have a long life source. Along with the long life source, we have a warranty that's a 5-year warranty up to 12,000 hours. So that's on our Pro AV projector. So you have a lot of support there as far as the life of the projector itself. Also, lower maintenance. Again, with the DLP technology, we have a sealed light optic engine in the projectors. We have all of our projectors certified. They're either IP5X or IP6X certified by an independent company. And that means that no dust will get into the optics of the projector. So when you install that projector up in the ceiling, basically the only time you'll have to get to it is maybe once in a while you'll be looking at it, you see that there's clumps of dust, clogging up the air intake. That's about the only, type of maintenance that you might have to do with these high-end projectors. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, you can, check the status of these projectors using third-party control systems, but also our Optoma management suite that Roland's going to talk about in a little bit greater detail shortly. So again, there's a large number of solutions that we offer from the high brightness projectors. We range from 11,000 to 22,000 lumens. So the top of the line projectors allow you to select the lens that you want to use. So basically customizing your projector. When you look at the range of throw distances that are available or throw ratios available, 0.65 to 1 up to 10.8 to 1, that means with a 10-foot wide screen, your projector could be anywhere from 6.5 feet to 108 feet back from the screen. So great flexibility. You're looking at a lot of the lens features available with the zoom, focus, and lens shift. So you do have even more flexibility with placement of these high-end projectors. And then we'll talk about some of the other connectivity and advanced features in a couple slides. But also very similar to the Pro AV interchangeable lens products are the Pro AV projectors with an integrated lens. So these projectors range from 7,000 to 10,000 lumens. They don't have quite the throw ratio benefits of the interchangeable lenses, but we find that these cover probably 60% of the applications that we have out there. So they're very, again, they have the flexibility with the lens shift, the powered lenses, the zoom and focus. Also quite a few features that we'll talk about in addition as well. But a nice benefit of these products is since they don't require all those optic engine lens, compatibility issues, it's less expensive to develop these products since they have the built-in lens. They're typically more compact, lighter weight, so they can be managed by one person if you're doing an installation, but also they're much more affordable than the higher end projectors with the interchangeable lenses. Also looking at the mainstream and data projectors, these would probably be for your smaller sanctuaries, your meeting rooms, your classrooms. We have standard lenses on some of these projectors, so you have the flexibility of a zoom lens. Those projectors are probably going to be from 12 to 20 feet from the screen to put up a good screen size. The short throw projectors, typically about 5 feet or less from the screen, and then ultra short throw projectors are right above the screen. So you have a lot of flexibility when you're recommending one of the projectors for the mainstream applications as well. And then we also have some specialty products. The small LED projectors, they can be used for special events. So if there's like a movie night or something within the school or the classrooms that they have, or if they have a huddle space where they want to have some of the students or parishioners meet, they can use one of these smaller projectors as well. Now I'd just like to cover some of the key features on the products. One of the things, the key that you're looking at, the most important consideration is the brightness, the image quality, the ability to read fine text up on the screen. So that's the key benefit of the projectors and what you really want to work with. So you're looking at a range of resolutions. We're finding that most customers are still, they're upgrading to 1080p or above. In some cases, they're moving up to the 4K resolution models. We do have a number of 4K models that we just launched, ranging from 6,000 to 9,000 lumens. So a lot of good choices in there to choose the higher resolution products as well. Some of the other things that you might have to work with is the ambient light in the room. So depending on the screen size and how much ambient light is in the area, you've seen one of the previous images there is that it could be a very bright room, based on the light coming through all the stained glass windows. So just to have that flexibility of choosing the right projector for the installation, whether it's a 4,000 lumen projector or if you have to step up to a 20,000 lumen projector to overcome that ambient light, you've got a full range of products. And again, your region manager or Roland and myself can help you select the right projector for the installation based on the brightness and the screen size. And again, we talked a little bit about the flexibility and the placement of the projectors with that powered lens. We do have the lens shift capabilities, so typically you can go horizontally about 25% left and right of the image size, so 25% of that image size. And then also you can shift the position of the projector so it's either at the top of the screen or above the screen, or even within the bounds of the screen and pointing straight to the center of the screen. And then for some of the other price points that are out there, if you're looking at some of the small sanctuaries, right in my town here, we have Willow Creek, which is a mega church. There's 18,000 people attend that church on a weekly basis. We also have a small donut shop that holds 12 to 20 people on a weekly basis as well. So there's a lot of different applications for sanctuaries out there. So if you're looking at some of the budgets, you know, the donut shop church, you're probably looking at an XGA projector to get a 80-inch image, and they're pretty happy with that. When you get to Willow Creek, 18,000 parishioners, you have multi-screens, you have a multimedia experience with edge blending and a lot of other applications being used. Also looking at some of the other features that we have, the inputs on the projectors. Again, you have your standard inputs, the HDMI, DVI-D, pretty standard for shorter cable runs. For long cable runs, HD-base-T, we're seeing that a lot of the churches have cable runs 100 feet or more. So HD-base-T, running a Cat6 cable to the projector is probably the best solution. And also 3G SDI input. So if they want to connect their video equipment directly to the projector, they can do that as well. Some of the outputs that are frequently used, the wired remote control. There could be a lot of interference with IR and also with fluorescent lights or LED lights. So a lot of churches like to hardwire the remote control and run the cable from the projector to the control room. The projector has a input in it, and as does the remote control. So you can plug in the wired remote cable to the remote control as well. 3D sync, probably not used so much in the house of worship, but a 12-volt screen trigger, we see that being used quite a bit, where they want to hardwire the projector directly to the screen. When the projector turns on, the screen drops. When you turn off the projector, the screen rises. Also, built-in warping and blending. We're seeing that there's a lot more churches that have a large front wall. They want to cover the front wall with images, and also the sidewalls in some cases. So they want to warp that image to a certain area, or they want to use multiple projectors for a blending application. So we have built-in warping and blending in several of our products. There's also the ability to control the projectors, RS-232 and IP inputs in the projectors. But also want to mention that for the warping and blending capabilities, we have what we call the OSO Nano 6, but we also have access to a full line of products from the OSO for your edge blending application. So if it's a more complex blending, we can make some recommendations to you for that equipment as well. And then, of course, the projectors, along with the control system readiness, they have the OMS, the Optoma Management Suite capabilities built into our projectors as well.
Yeah, and as of right now, we don't have any questions entered. So maybe this is just a reminder for the folks out there in webinar land. If you have questions, please just enter them into the chat box, and we'll have another pause in a few slides to hopefully take your questions. So let's talk about direct view LED. In many ways, direct view LED is perfect for houses of worship because it can be delivered in those larger format sizes, right? You typically wouldn't use direct view LED for a 65-inch screen. We're talking about screens that are over 100-inch. So direct view LED naturally plays well in that space. And it's also super bright, right? Direct view LED in general overcomes any challenges you have with brightness, right? And we've all seen those signs by the highway, you know, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're like, you know, they can compete with the sun, put it that way. But direct view LED has also traditionally been a very a la carte proposition, right? It's been very design intensive. And I think to some extent, the whole design process and that a la carte nature of direct view LED displays has been off-putting to customers and to certain dealers, because it's kind of overwhelming to have to design it all and deliver it all. And there's just a lot of question marks, especially if you haven't sold and installed direct view LED before. That can cause people to kind of shy away from it. And when I say it's been a very a la carte proposition, traditionally with direct view LED, you have to select your tiles, right? What brand and variety of tiles, what pixel pitch, excuse me, are you going to need? What's the resulting resolution of the screen going to be if you use a particular pixel pitch to build a certain size screen? Then you have to design the cabinets. How are you actually going to affix the tiles to the wall where you want the display to live? And then there's the whole signal processing in the back end. You know, what's delivering the signal, what's doing the switching, what's doing the scaling. And there's a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to putting together a traditional direct view LED video wall. But one of the big challenges is that a lot of times all those pieces come from different manufacturers. And so when it comes to the installation, you know, there can be problems, and you know, which one of these manufacturers pieces of equipment is having the problem, and it kind of leaves you stuck. And beyond installation, maintenance can be quite challenging with those systems. So introducing the all-in-one quad LED display from Optoma. There you see the model number. It's the FHDQ135S. This solution from Optoma is pretty much the exact opposite of all of that. It's a single SKU. You order this one piece from us, and it includes everything you need, and it's pre-calibrated, pre-configured. It's very quick to set up. You can put one of these together in a matter of, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours. Very easy to set up. As I said, pre-calibrated and pre-configured, built-in media playback, as well as traditional inputs right on the side. There is no external switcher box. It's basically an all-in-one direct view LED monitor that you can connect your sources to, has all the inputs you would expect, and you're off to the races, you know, in a matter of hours. It's really just add power and content. So it solves all those challenges. There really is no design work to be done. It's a solution in a box. Here we see some of the specs. It's available. It's a single SKU, which is a 135-inch diagonal display. It's extremely bright, 850 nits of brightness. This is an indoor product, but that is into the brightness range for outdoor use. This thing is very, very bright. There is a brightness, you can control the brightness, and typically if we were using this in an office, we might run it on 35 or 40% brightness all the time, depending on the content. It can really overcome ambient light. So if you have one of those spaces where it's just so bright that projection is not an option, they want that 135-inch screen, they want high quality, this can be a really great choice. It is 1080p resolution, and we've kind of covered the fact that it's easy to assemble. Basically, everything comes in one box and goes together very quickly. You're up and running very quickly. And it includes those pieces of Optoma software that I previously mentioned, OSS, which is 3 pieces of software. It's our display share, our whiteboard, and our file manager. So anytime you see OSS associated with a display, it means you can basically log on to your Google account and have direct access to your Google Drive. So it's very easy to download content from the cloud right onto the display. There is that built-in whiteboard function. Needless to say, if you're not using a touchscreen, you would need a wireless keyboard and mouse, or use the web interface to the whiteboard, which you can try. If anybody's interested in seeing the whiteboard platform, you can just log into whiteboard.optoma.com and take it for a little test drive. You'll see that web interface, what you get, the floating toolbar and all the tools and the way you interact with it and all the backgrounds you can use in the whiteboard are essentially the exact same thing you get when you run those applications on the panel. And these are also eco-friendly. I didn't touch on it, but reducing power consumption, you know, when it comes to a large church or synagogue, house of worship, the electric bills can be a really significant chunk of their budgets. And these direct view LED displays, the all-in-one solution from Optoma, they are really power efficient. Has to do with the quad pixel technology. The standby voltage is extremely low. So offers those eco-friendly advantages in addition to just being fantastic displays. So let's change gears a little bit and talk about the interactives. This really isn't the focus of today, but want to just point out that the Creative Touch interactives are fantastic solutions. They've not traditionally played a big role in House of Worship, but we want to just cover them because they are very applicable and useful in many of those ancillary spaces we talked about. You know, the meeting spaces, administrative offices. If customers want interactive digital signage in entryways or lobby spaces, these can be perfect for that. And they are particularly perfect if the house of worship has classroom spaces, whether it's just a couple Sunday school classrooms or a full-fledged associated K-12 school. These are perfect. Here we see some of the features. We actually sell two different lines of Creative Touch interactive panel. We have a 3 series and a 5 series. They're both available in 65, 75, and 86-inch sizes. The main difference between the 3 series and the 5 series, the 3 series you can think of sort of as an entry-level model, and the 5 series is the premium offering. The 5 series is Google EDLA certified, meaning that it runs the full Google Play Store, and it's basically like a giant Android device. You can go on the Play Store and download any of the millions of applications that are available on the Play Store. They're also plug and play compatible with all your major computer devices. So Windows, Mac, Chrome OS, even Linux. There's a whole host of wireless casting. If you're interested in the Creative Touch interactive panels, just get in touch with us. We can schedule a personalized virtual demo on a separate Zoom call for you. And so the N Series Pro displays. Earlier this year, we launched the N Series Pro displays. These are non-interactive flat panels. The Creative Touch line, those are 40-point touchscreens. These are non-interactive. The N Series, that is. They are rated for both landscape and portrait mode. So if you want to do advanced video wall applications with these displays, you certainly can. They are commercial grade, just like the Creative Touch line is. So the case is all metal, the glass is anti-glare, tempered glass, very scratch resistant, and the N series panels are very bright. So 450 to 500 nits. The brightness spec varies depending on exactly what size we're talking about out of those 4 different available sizes. But that is much, much brighter than your consumer television set you might be used to. 500 nits is right on the border of being appropriate for some outdoor use, although the N Series Pro displays are not rated for outdoor. They are indoor displays. I'm just giving you an idea of how bright they are. They're very bright, and they have a ton of great software built in. So there's a built-in, media playback is built in. You can connect them if they're networked. You have the ability to take advantage of OMS and OSS. So Optoma Management Suite, which we'll talk about in just a slide or two very quickly. We'll get to Optoma Management Suite, but the whiteboard, the display share function, basically sharing from your mobile devices, you can cast to them from iPhones and iPads, as well as that file manager capability. Essentially use the board and log directly onto your cloud drive from the board itself and be able to download your content from the cloud. It's really handy, in addition to the whiteboard function. And the N Series Pro displays feature a built-in video wall controller. So you can mount them in a 2x2 or a 3x3 array of panels, and you don't need an external video wall processor. That ability to handle that processing, you can run an external input into the HDMI input of panel number 1, and then through the setup process, you configure the video wall, and all that is handled in the panels themselves. So that's not just a competitive advantage, but a very usable feature. And so we wanted to just return very quickly to this sanctuary space that we looked at as an example at the beginning of the presentation. Here we see this sanctuary offers or it poses a lot of the traditional challenges to installing displays in house of worship. It's super bright. There's really not a great space to put a single screen that's large enough for everybody in the room, for all the congregation to view it. So we thought perhaps just one way to tackle this might be to use the N Series Pro displays. You could put a couple 98-inch panels up at the front in these two available wall spaces. Those 98-inch panels are probably going to cover out to about 30 feet of viewable. Beyond that, it'll get very difficult to read text on screen. So we thought you could also install a couple of 75 or 86-inch panels in support of those two primary monitors, allowing the content to be viewed basically by the aft half or the back half of the room. So this is just an image mock-up, a composite image that we put together just to show one possible way you could, use. People don't often people look to projection for this type of space, but sometimes you can use different display technologies, and it really delivers a great experience for the customer. And this is also quite affordable, relative to the high performance that it's going to deliver and the usability it's going to deliver to the end user. So just something to get you thinking. So we wanted to cover OMS in more detail. I'll start by saying that Optoma Management Suite, OMS, it's available in two different flavors. There is a local only version, which is PC software. So on the site, on the network, at the location, you have a computer that runs the software. Via that software, you can achieve all these features, right? You can monitor, diagnose, control all the equipment. You can broadcast to all the equipment. But the more popular version is the cloud version, OMS Cloud. It operates via a web interface. You go to the website, oms.optoma.com, you log into your account, all the displays are paired to your account, and you can broadcast, manage, diagnose, update firmware. All these things can be done on a schedule. So you can send full screen images and slideshows to the displays, either real time or scheduled. You can also get trouble alerts in your inbox. The system can be programmed to send out, if the interactive panel in the office drops off the internet, you'll get an email, or the IT folks or whoever's responsible for it can get an email saying the office interactive panel is disconnected from the system. You can go and address why, did it get unplugged? Did the internet drop? What's going on? You can fix it before anybody says that it's a problem. But one thing I really want to point out here is that OMS is compatible with all of our displays. All of our display categories, at least. So whether we're talking about our projectors, our interactive panels, our non-interactive N Series Pro displays, or the direct view, the FHD-QS, the 135-inch all-in-one direct view LED, all of those different categories are compatible with the OMS system. So all the different displays, whether if you have some projectors in the sanctuary, you have some non-interactive panels functioning as digital signage, in the entryways, you have some creative touch interactives in the classrooms. All of those display endpoints can be managed through a single interface, basically. And if there's any questions on that, please pipe them into the question box. So want to just talk to you really quickly about some of the resources that Optoma has available for you. Our field teams, our RSMs are great. Many of you already work with them. We have folks, out there in the territories. We also have inside sales. If you don't know who your rep is, you can email us. Use this address, technicalsales@optoma.com, and we will put you in touch with your representative. The technical sales team, as Bob mentioned, we're here to help from a design standpoint, make sure that you're picking the right solution, to meet all the criteria, you're getting the best solution that there is, and also that it's going to work with the rest of the system, right? But beyond that, here's just an example of a 3D, or this is a screenshot that we took from a 3D model. This was from a museum application. The customer had some concerns about how close an individual could stand to the screen without casting a shadow, and we provided this mock-up for the customer, which served a couple different functions. One, it gave the customer a good idea of what they could expect, the scale and exact layout of the the ultimate solution that they were purchasing. But it also gives the installers a great reference. You know, I don't know how many times I've heard horror stories of reps being on or installers being on site and having a problem with a piece of gear, and saying, "Oh, the rep promised me it would work." This is, you know, we can offer solid documentation in your email inbox that you can go and look, and the installer has references to exactly where the projectors need to go. We're here to help you win business. You know, presenting this to your clients can be a competitive advantage, and there's a lot more than we can offer beyond just 3D models and renders. But also keep in mind, OptimaUSA.com is the main Optima's main web address in the US. Lots of great product details and spec sheets can be found there. Lots of videos, things of that nature. So do keep the website in mind. Look for our follow-up email. As Bob already mentioned, we on this presentation, we really didn't want to bombard you with model numbers and specifications. So we figured we would just send you the product reference guide in follow-up. It has all of our different SKUs. They're broken down by category, interchangeable lens, integrated lens. All the projectors are kind of laid out by different resolutions, you know, from the 22,000 lumen interchangeable all the way down to those ultra portable Pico projectors like the ML1080 that Bob mentioned. And if you are participating in our SPIF program, you can log on to optimarewards.com to check the status of your SPIFs and enter claims, things like that. And with that, we would like to take any questions.
Okay, I got a couple questions here. The first one
Sure.
was a pretty basic. Are we going to be adding different screen sizes to the direct view LED product line? We are looking at that right now. We're going to add additional product to that line. We're probably have to refer you to the region sales manager for more information as additional information becomes available from the product management team for us. But we are broadening that product line. Another question came in about the FHDQ 135S direct view LED. When is it expected to ship? Those are available right now. So basically we need some lead time from you. If you place an order, we're looking at probably a 6 to 8 week time period for us to secure that product and ship it out. Very soon we will have inventory on hand, but right now we order that product as it is requested from the customer. So keep that in mind. What is the MSRP? I don't have that right now, but we will send it to you in the product reference guide. That's going to be part of that document as well. So you'll have that information available. And then finally, does the wall mount offer the standard X and Y axis adjustments? And that's something I'd probably have to look at. I know there's some flexibility in it. It's a standard VESA type mount, but I'd have to look into further details for that mount itself. So we can get that information back to you.
Yeah, I don't have the answer for that off the top of my head either, but we have your email address that you registered with, Brent. We'll get in touch with you about that, get you some more detailed information. All righty. Well, I don't see any more questions coming in, so I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your time. Look for our follow-up email. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.